And with this, welcome to everyone who is looking into here right now. We will have a 10 versus 10 challenge of the Slydog Racing League in round about 5 minutes. So this is going to be a very special kind of race with 2 teams going at it, up to 10 drivers each. Hopefully 20 people will join. And the teams, or the one team with the most points is going to win the challenge. At the moment, let's just have a look at how this race is going to be set up. So, as I mentioned, 2 teams, 10 drivers each. The points will be a bit different, so we will see 30 points for the race winner, 27 for second, 25 points then for third, 22 for P4, 20 points for P5, and so on. Everyone is getting at least 1 point except the last driver. We will have a full qualifying, so Q1, 2, 3, and the pole sitter is going to have another 5 points for his team. Further, we will have 1 point for the fastest lap in the race and 5 points for each driver that does not score a penalty. Further, we will see the following rules, so full safety car and VSC. We will have collisions, full damage, weather is set to custom. As far as I know, as far as I have the rules in mind, we will see dry, wet, dry. Strict corner cutting penalties, what makes it probably a bit hard to go on a 0 penalty through the race, but we will see about that. We have all rules and flags installed, a manual race start, and let's have a look at the allowed assists. So the anti-lock brakes are on, or are available if wanted. Medium traction control in maximum, and manual gearbox. What else is important? The pit assist is on, but not the release, so you have to maintain control during the pit stop, but not while coming into the pits. And ERS, DRS fuel is going to be manual, of course. The racetrack is right now set to Australia. As far as I know, we should be racing in Spain. So let's have a look at the track list. Right now we're looking in, and there we have it changed to Circuit de Barcelona. Okay. Right when I mentioned it. And one more important thing, as we were talking about 2 teams going at it. Very important is the livery. So every driver can use his own livery, but it has to be in yellow, green, or in black and white for each respective teams. And yeah, in qualifying we will not see too many different things than we can expect from a full qualifying, I would say. But in the race, it's going to be very interesting to see whether we have like what is normal for online races. Focus on me only, being interested in having a best result for myself, or if we will see much more team strategic race. So, for example, letting a faster driver through, so that our team is going to be in a better position for the win. So all that we are going to find out in around about the next 2 hours together. So as the drivers are readying up, this shouldn't take too long anymore to start. So we will start with the qualifying in just a bit. And here we are in Barcelona. First seconds of the 18 minutes have already ticked off. So as we have quite a long qualifying in front of us, there should be a bit of time to speak about warrior stuff as we see the first drivers to leave the box. As soon as the table has updated itself, I can have a look at them. Right now everyone is called in the pits. There we go. Loaded Storm and David Larson, for example, are already on the track. So here you can see the first black and white livery. One of the newer liveries, part of the Podium Pass 2 update. And in front of him, an example for a yellow-green livery. So this is the way we can differ the two teams. With a long way from the driver behind to warm up his tires. Sadly, do not know yet who it was. Hopefully, the yellow-green mate did not catch some damage already while warming up his tires. So, and here we go. The first hot lap started is from David Larson. We have a first yellow flag, and that's in sector 3. Should not be a problem for him, and vanished already. Anyway, let's get in some more information. So let's have a look at the times from this very first hot lap that we just watched. The overall time record has been set by Valtteri Bottas this year in the summer race in August. It was a 1 minute 18.183. So let's see how far David Larson is going to end in relation to the Bottas time. Larson, by the way, won the first little award for having the best livery. Oh yeah, and he has posted a 1:16.9. So already now blasting the real life times. Okay, so that will show us what we are into here. So let's jump ahead. Let's jump to the first times from the yellow teams. That is set from Steve and James Punt and Bit Mappy. We have a lot of times coming in right now. So the yellow-green team has mostly the yellow color badge next to the name. For the other team, it's sometimes white, sometimes dark blue, sometimes black. So let's just orientate who is yellow and who is not. Maybe easier. While we have seen a hot lap from Larson, the first hot lap obviously was deleted, so the second lap is now an official hot lap from David Larson, and it is set for a 1:17.8. That gives him P6 for the moment. Behind him, Albert Dewitt has set a quite similar time, just 1/10 slower, but he has set his time on medium tires. Medium, well, should probably not be a big topic for Q1. It might be a topic for Q2 because of the fact that the top 10 drivers, everyone who managed to get into Q3, will have to start the race on the tires from the hot lap in Q2. So Q1 and Q3 are probably going to be dominated by red tires, while there could be some guys trying to get a hot lap in Q2 on yellows, but we are going to find out about that. So David Larson, after 2 hot laps, now back to the pits, gives us the chance to jump somewhere else. Let's jump to Liam, an UFC fan, who is on his outlap right now, so coming closer to set the first hot lap. Yeah, well, it's in these conditions of the 2 teams, it's hard to watch out for one certain drivers, especially as we are between the seasons right now. So the Slydog Racing League is about, and we have a big crash in the background. Oh, that was a big one. That was a big one. Let's see which guy from the yellow team hit the barrier there. None who I can jump to, I'm afraid. That's sad. That's sad. That's already the first moment that shows us the sadly fact that there is no replay in live mode. So I will always try to jump to where the biggest action is. In qualifying, it's a bit harder to find out about that, but yep, we could sadly not see the crash focus with the camera. Luckily we had a glimpse in the background. Yep. And we see number 15 Darren Mark is grey, so I cannot jump to him. Maybe or slash probably it was him who crashed in the barrier in the second DRS zone. So yeah, where was I? Whew, a lot of action going on here very early. What I was trying to talk about was the fact that it's hard to know who to watch in this challenge. The Slydog Racing League is right now in between their seasons, so one season just ended, the next season is about to start. Talking about that, by the way, it's going to be on next week's Monday. That is Monday, November the 23rd. So every Monday around about 8:30 p.m. UK time the new league's going to occur, and as some kind of a pre-season, some kind of getting everyone ready, getting everyone on the paddles, so to speak, we have this 10 versus 10 challenge here in between the seasons. And yep, it's hard to know who to watch, so let's just stick to the drivers that were ranked top in the last season's standings. So who we should watch out for today is maybe the, at the moment, on 3 ranked Jetty Duck. Then we have on rank 2 Chris Panda, who's maybe a good person to watch. Then of course Mr. Trem 98, right now ranked on P11. We have a person called Leonard Cam on P5 right now. I will have to watch out not to change his name up with Lando. So I'm sorry already in advance in case I should mix your name up with the real life driver. And who else we could have a close eye on? Let's have a look if he joined. Yes, he did. Number 6 ranked at the moment, James Punt. And the next name I have on my note sheet sadly did not join. That would have been B Wheeler, but okay. Hey, he did join. I'm sorry. He is standing on P7 right now. B Wheeler 102. So let's have a look at some ongoing action right now. Let's maybe jump to the 16th ranked Butters. There he is, in a black and white car. Black a bit more dominant than white in this case. We have soon to be around about 6.5 minutes left on the clock, so there are a lot of drivers who still are in the pits right now, so they will probably not have 3 hot laps. They will have just 2 tries, or maybe even don't come out at all anymore, while those drivers who are on an outlap right now, like Butters, like Rizzle Sticks, like Chris Panda, they will have to hurry up a bit to have a hot lap right now, come back to the pits, get some new tires and get out for a third hot lap if they wish. And Sector 1 is going to close out soon. And he is around about 1/10 faster than, I don't know which time it was compared to. I don't know if he was 1/10 faster than P15 or on P1. We're going to find out in a bit. Sector 2 is going to end after this straight, a second DRS zone. He lost slightly, but is still up 800 as he's going into third intermediate with a lot of slow turns, a lot of downforce necessary in these turns. Last corner, very, very important to take the velocity with him. DRS opened. He improved his time, but not much, sadly. And while all this is happening, we have one mail from Darren, the 17th ranked Grey Darren. One little chat message in the live stream telling us that in turn 9 he was caught by the gravel and forced him to retirement. So yep, very sad for you, but I hope you will stay with us and jump into the race then. We have not seen a hot time set by Sean Knudsen. And right when I speak about him, he has joined, so in a virtual way speaking about, he has just entered his cockpit and is ready to go out. And while this happened, David Lawson has disconnected, and it is a pity for him because he's sitting right on the hot seat on P15. So as soon as Sean Knudsen will have a time set, and if this time is better than Lawson's 1:17.8, Lawson would be out in Q1. So Sean Knudsen, just talking about him, joined but is still in the pits. He's going to wait a few more seconds and then go out for his one and only try right in the closing minutes, like probably everyone will do. Who already is out on a hot lap is Chris Panda. We came right at him when he was at the end of Sector 1. He had +3/10, so this lap is not going to be a good one. Had some traffic from an opponent team in front of him. So he will probably have a few cool down turns, a cool down lap right here. Yep, 4.6 seconds back, so not a competitive lap. Just leave a bit of more space to the driver in front of you. What he's going to do now, I think. Running pretty slow. And we'll have his final shot now. And while we're watching him going on his last try in Q1, we see Granty Boy being grey, so he's not going to have another run here, but it's not going to be a problem because he's in P1 anyway, and he will not be out of Q1. I'm pretty sure about that. So there are sadly a few guys in gray right now, so there are a few that cannot try to improve themselves. One of them is Trem, sadly, so that could be really close for him. Chris Panda is 2 seconds behind his best time, so this is not going to be an improvement. Let's jump to someone who could improve himself. Let's jump to someone who is maybe in the knockout zone. Here we have Bottas at the end of sector 2. He's 3/10 above his best time before. With an improvement of 3/10, he's going to jump over Darren, but not out of the knockout zone. Oh, there has someone come off in front of him. Could be possible that this is affecting him a bit. We will see. Oh, that wasn't a good turn 15 for him, and that cost a lot of time. Still was able to improve himself a bit, but he has finished and will start the race on P18. Sean Knudsen is through in last place. Bitmap, he did not get a better time on his final shot. He's going to start on P16. So it seems like David Lawson is safe on his 15th place, as there is no one who could threaten him. Sean Knudsen was not able to post a time. Let's have a look at Loaded Storm. He is called on his outlap, but did not cross the start-finish line early enough to be able to post a time. So yeah, that's more or less it. Speaking about the 5 that are knocked out, that is going to be Sean Knudsen, Loaded Storm, Butters, Darren Mark, while we see Loaded Storm in the gravel, and Bitmappy on P16. Those 5 are out for the moment, but not out in total, because as I mentioned in the early get-go, we will see points for everyone in the race except the last. So those 5 drivers who are out now, please do not give up, because you might be able to acquire right that 1 or 2 points that will make your overall team win or lose in the end. So Q1 is in the books. I hope that we do not have any technical issues due to the fact that Trem is grey. I hope that hosting the session is not going to be affected by that. So everyone is coming into the pits. In real life, that's the time when the TV broadcasters take a commercial break. The Slydog Racing League sadly does not have a sponsor yet, so there is no commercial ad from me right now. Gives us time to have a look at the libraries a bit. Or maybe a little bit of a crash, but it's a strange crash. But time is up right now, so see you guys in the lobby or the top 15 in Q2 in a moment. So, dear audience, as we see a pretty long, how can I say, out validation of the qualifying, it seems that there is some kind of a glitch, some kind of a technical issue from the game. I'm not sure if it is because of Trem being grey or if there is some new bug in the newest patch that were just released this noon. So I can tell you there is some conversation going on in the background right now. We are just waiting for a solution. Probably the game will not deliver this to us. And now it seems like there is the graphics we all have been waiting for. Yes. So finally Q1 is officially in the books. And we will head on. So we are in Q2. 13 drivers are actively in the grid right now. We have seen a few guys being grey at the end of Q1, I'm sorry. So let's see if they can be able to rejoin during this 15-minute session. The first one to leave the pits is Monster. Let's get some more information displayed. Here's the guy I was talking about, the first one on the track, warming up his fresh red tires. With his very dark dominated black and white livery. Looks pretty good. Got to admit that I used the same one in one of my careers. Just not in these colors, but I'm quite familiar to this library. And we will see the first time posted by him. And we see around about half the grid, maybe a bit more even, trying to get the first hot lap in on medium tires. That was the tire stuff I was talking about in Q1. So this is the one session we might see some different tire colors, and we already do from the early get-go. This is going to affect the race strategy a lot, because if you can qualify yourself on yellow tires into Q3, it is very much easier, to go through the race on a one pit stop strategy. If you start the race on red tires, this is going to be more difficult, or maybe even slower if you consider going red and white for a one stop. So let's see who's either fast enough or trying to gamble at the end of this session. The first lap set is a good one, 1:15.7 by a Monster. The first hot lap posted. Wouldn't surprise me if this lap would stand on pole for quite a longer time. The first drivers... oh no, there's the first one to beat him. That's Granty Boy beating him by 2/10. And maybe the more important fact, he beat him on yellow tires. So impressive time by the driver who's been in the pole position in Q1 already. Let's jump to him. Not on a hot lap anymore, but at least grant him a bit of camera time for the great time he has set. We have Slydog on P3, who has set his time on yellow tires as well, 1:16.1. You can easily ignore the yellow flags that are posted right now because the CPU posts it just even if drivers are going slow to let other faster drivers pass through. And what is a pretty much important thing too, to preserve these tires to have the lowest possible tire degradation, because this is going to be the race start set for all those who qualify into the top 10. And Granty Boy was 16 seconds behind his hot lap, so he really tried to be very, very easy and cautious on his tires, so that they may not have a higher degradation than maybe 3 or 4%. While he is in his pits, let's jump to someone who is on a hot lap. That maybe is Rizzlesticks. Let's have a look. There he is. Oh, just coming in. Has not set a time lap. Maybe he has seen the intermediate times that told him that he's not going to be competitive on yellow tires, so he came back just before finishing his lap. On P9 we see Trem. Nice to see you back. Trem not grey anymore, it's a good sign. And his sector 2, 50.8. No comparison yet possible, as he did not set a time yet, but it's not a bad one. A bit of sliding here in the slow turns. The last one was okay. DRS opened up, and he has put himself into P7. P7 definitely not where you want to be if you run on softs, so as long as he doesn't grey out, we can be pretty much sure that he's going to try it again. Let's see if he's going to try again on red or on medium tires then. On a hot lap right now could be new FC fan Liam. There he is. Coming close towards the end of sector 2 in his zebra looking livery. 50.3, half a second faster than Trem. Bit of slide here, let's have a look. These turns are really, really hard to take, got to be inside. And then the slow turns, you should not take too much of curb. The last turn was good, DRS opened up, and this time is a 1:16.9, giving him P7. P7 equals 1.4 seconds slower than the pole sitter. probably a time he will try to improve. Let's see whether... Oh, there we have someone spun, ghosted right now. Sadly, we did not see it in live, and I had mentioned already, there's sadly no replay. And as we have only 2 teams, it's really hard to figure out who it was. Yep, anyway, let's have a look at the table. We have not seen times set by Riddlesticks and by Josef Mrados, I'm sorry, and not by Leonard Cam, and we will probably not see a time set from Leonard Cam as he is great. Plus 2 drivers that did not come back at all, so we have only 12 drivers right now competing for 10 spots. And let's jump to someone who is active. That would be maybe Albert. Do it, Albert. Has been around about 1/10 faster in the first intermediate. DRS open up in the second DRS zone. 50.5, 3.5 tenths better than the first try. But we have seen better intermediate times yet. Let's see how he's doing in the slow turns here. Taking a bit too much curb maybe. The last turn was okay. DRS opened up. 117.6. For used red tires, that's not the biggest time, but as we have seen Josef Mrados graying out, we have actually only 11 drivers left for 10 spots. So even though this time has not been the greatest, he's still kind of have quite a good chance to slip into Q3. So Albert is the only guy not in the pits, not yet. He's going to change that very soon. So bit of a waiting phase right now. It's going to take us approximately 1 more minute. Then everyone, maybe not everyone, but a lot of guys will go out again for the final shot. As I mentioned, it's just one driver who's going to be knocked out, sadly. Granty Boy has grayed out, he has left his cockpit, likewise to Monster, so they feel themselves safe. Panda did so now too, while we have the first one to leave the pits again. Slydog is grey now too, so all these top 4 see themselves as safe. Steve did so too. So let's see who is going to gamble. I was talking about trying it on reds or yellows. There's just one spot that is going to be knocked out, and we see Riddlesticks driving finally. There he is. Has not set a time yet, so yeah, let's call it confident. Pretty confident that he's going to be able to do it in just one shot. Has opted for the red tires, so as confident as he seems to be, but no risk about the tires. Let's stay with him for a moment. This is going to be the camera we will stay for the final shot. Let's see if he can jump into P10 and drop either Twisted Poncho or Josef Mrados his top 10 spot. He has been so early, so he actually could run a second hot lap if he wants to. Full throttle through these turns. Should be a bit more on the inside on this right-hander. Likewise to this turn, a bit more inside would have been a better lane. He's not taking the full amount of risk, I would say. Bit of lifting here, DRS opened up. 50.3 at the end of sector 2 is quite okay, I would say. Let's see how he's going to travel through the slow turns in intermediate 3. Do not take too many curbs in here. Chicane was good. Last turn as fast as possible, that was good. And the time stops at a 1:17.1. Not the best time, but enough, probably enough for Q3, very likely enough for Q3. Let's jump to Albert, who is right at the end of his hot time. Does not seem like he can improve himself, but is not mandatory at the moment. He did improve himself to a 1:17.3, but did not jump ahead. And Twisted Poncho is in the pits. Does not take another lap. So that's it. It is decided. The top 10 is qualified. Granty Boy, Monster, Chris Honda, Chetty Duck, James Punt, Stehio, New FC fan Liam, Rizzle Sticks, Albert Do It, Albert Did It, and Tram has slipped in. Woo, that was close. He was grey very early, but with a 1:17.9 he just slipped in. Twisted Poncho on P11, Josef Marados P12, and Leonard Cam, who sadly was unable to post a time, will be starting from P13. So I hope that we will not have some technical issues like we had in Q1. Hopefully we are going to be able to close this session a bit earlier than before. And until then, see you in a bit. Yes, has been a lot earlier than before. That's a good sign. The final standings of Q2, and the important thing about it is that Granty Boy, Chetty Duck on P4, Stigio on P6, and Liam on P7 will start with medium tires, granting them probably a longer first stint in the race, while all the others will have to start on reds. So here we are, the final session, the final 12 minutes to decide who's going to start the race from the best spot. From what we've seen in Q1 and Q2, Slydog should probably be the #1 driver to watch for that. Let's see if he can live up to that. First drivers have left the pits as soon as the table shows me. Yep, there it is. Monster again. He has been the first one to leave the pits in Q2, and he does likewise in Q3. Followed, I think, by Stio. Yep, right behind him. So, as we have watched Monster already in Q2, now let's have a look a bit more intensely about Stio. Even though I'm doing really hard to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me. We see yellow. We can easily ignore that due to the fact that I described earlier. The game posts a yellow flag even though a driver is just being slow to let others go through. So here we see Albert on his black and white livery in his outlap. Let's jump through the rest of the P10 a bit. Here's Slydog, one of the possible pole sitters. Sadly, we don't see a lot of his livery right now, just a bit of his helmet. Livery, oh, a lot of curb in this turn. And here he's going to start his hot lap. Let's put in some more information. The tires should all be reds in this session. Let's put in some lap data. There it is, and that one I was searching for. So I think in this session we can ignore the tires. We see now everyone running on red, and this is not going to change. So let's put this one out. While we follow Slydog through his hot lap. Oh, and we see Rizzle Sticks is going to have a five positions penalty due to causing a collision. Oh, that's interesting. Collision with Stio, and he is grey now, so it seems like that Rizzle Sticks has more or less pushed Stio out of the qualifying. Interesting, very interesting. The first hot lap from Slydog, meanwhile, a 1:15.3. Wow, so very interesting is the fact that he seems to be equally fast on reds as well as yellows, so that's interesting. Or he didn't show us his full potential in this one lap. Could be a possible qualifying strategy too, to just have a save time set, come back and then in the final shot give it all. And if a 1:15.3 is a save time, then the black and white team will need some enchanted wheels and engines in the race. So what else times have been posted? Chris Panda a 1:15.5, 2 seconds behind Slydog, who is now maybe impeding a bit his own teammate. And while I was speaking about all that stuff going on, we see Granty Boy posting a new hot lap. 1:14.7. Tremendous lap, tremendous lap. He is, let me check, approximately 3.5 seconds faster than Valtteri Bottas in real life, so wow. All that I was speaking about Slydog a minute ago can be said more or less equally about Granty Boy. Respect to this lap. So let's have a look at the table again. Granty Boy now in P1, blasting the time of Slydog on P2. Then Chris Panda on P3, Monster on P4. Monster is already 1.2 seconds behind Granty Boy. We have Albert Stewart on P5, Liam on P6. And we have not seen times set yet by Trem, Rizzlesticks and James Punt. Likewise to Stio, who is Gray, who was maybe pretty much blasted out of the qualifying, from Rizzlesticks, who is going to see himself a +5 on the grid. So Monster right now is ruled to be on an out lap. That's interesting. That would mean that he would have 3 tries, 3 hot laps in Q3. I am not really sure if that will work out with the time. 5.5 minutes left. So it could work out, but it's going to be very stressful for him. Really in and out again. Let's see whether he aborts this or if he's going to go through on a hot lap. He will go through. He will try. Meanwhile, James Punt already is on a hot lap, but it's more or less just an in lap. So he's going to come into the pits probably with 3.5 seconds behind his first time. That's pretty much likely. So let's jump back to Monster. Monster, who is in the second sector right now, going uphill in this left-right combination right here. It's very easy to lose the car there. Should not have too much acceleration, and while I speak about it, he did just that. Bits too much on the outside curb, causing an abort of this lap. He can speak of a lot of luck that it's just this lap that is ruined and not his whole session. So he's going to come in now. Probably. Oh, he's going to run through. He's going to try again. Interesting. It is interesting because his tires are used already by 2 laps now, and this tells us that he took a lot of extra fuel, a lot of extra weight with him when he left the pits, if he wanted to be able to run for 3 hot laps. And his first sector is okay, 400ths slower than his initial hot lap. Let's see what's going to be posted towards the end of sector 2. That's coming up. Here was the place where he made the mistake. Better this time. 49.6, around about 2/10 behind. So I would recommend coming back to the pits. What would give him a last chance on new tires, just barely, but at least he would have a chance. Nope, he does not. Okay, so while that is happening, we jump to the drivers that are in fight for the pole. Here is Granty Boy on a hot lap already, so he could maybe post 2 hot laps with 2 minutes remaining. He has yeah, equaled his hot lap in the first sector. 100th of a second faster than before. Let's see how he's going to go through these fast turns. Yep, was a good one. Second intermission, he lost a bit. He lost almost 1/10, but it's still okay due to the fact that Slydog did not leave the pits. So Slydog did not go again for another run. Chris Panda already left his cockpit, already out of the car, so there is going to be no one to catch Granty Boy, and that's why he aborted his final lap, as he was not on an improvement. So, yep, I would say the fight for the pole position is decided. Sadly, it has been on this way, not too much of an explosion this qualifying. But well, it is as it is. We have Granty Boy in the pole position. Congratulations. So the first 5 points are already on the yellow-green account. We can book them already. The second paced driver, Slydog, is on the yellow-green team as well. So we see a total yellow-green first starting row. On P3 we'll have Chris Panda, that's already safe. Then we will have Monster in P4, James Punt in P5. Bristle Sticks, is he still going? Let's jump to him. He is. He's on his in-lap, so no improvements for him. He's going to be on P6 plus 5 equals P11. Albert Dewitt on P7, then Liam on P8. He seems to be on a hot lap still, so let's stay with him. The last one who could improve his starting grid position. He will jump ahead anyway, at least 1 point due to the penalty for Riddlesticks. The number 13 Zebra. Let's see what the time will tell us towards the end. Oh, sector 2, almost threw his car away, just barely able to catch it again, and that's it. So yes, Liam is not the last one to post another time. Qualifying is done. It is set and done. It is over while we watch him seeing his park there in the third intermediate. That's it. Congratulations to Team Yellow for the pole position for 5 points. And yeah, a overall pretty good qualifying result for Granty Boy, dominating the qualifying. And as it is depicted right now, it seems like it was not yellow. I thought the badge was a yellow one, but it's not. Granty Boy has a white badge. So first 5 points for Granty Boy and the black and white team. Congratulations, and let's see what's going to happen in the race. The last moment of silence, the last possibility for all drivers to catch some breath, catch some water, and the game will jump into the starting grid as soon as every qualified driver is ready for it. So drivers are ready, and we jump into the installation lap. Right now, for the first time, we can really see the mix-up of yellow, green and white, black liveries. Seems pretty nice if you have it all on one spot like we have here. Let's put in some information that we are going to need during the race. Let's have a look at the track to see where everyone is situated, and maybe this will help a bit when we come into pit stop strategy discussions. Here we have a short look at the starting tires. So from P12 to the end, everyone has the free option of tires. The yellows dominate there, just Darren and Putters, who opted to start the race on softs. In the top 10 it's a bit mixed. We have P1, P2 on yellows. That's going to be the big battle probably of this race. They are probably on a similar strategy, so they will hopefully have to be able, or will be forced to decide this race on the track. And Liam on P7 on yellow, as well as Stihio and Twisted Poncho. But for the start, we will jump into the information about changed positions. And for the start, we will have a closer look at P3. That's Chris Panda. Not actually because of a certain reason about him, just because to have a bit of better overview over the grid. There we have the information from AWS about pit stop strategy. We will see how this all is going to run down the wire. Let's see if everyone is going to have a two-stop strategy as AWS told us. We are going to find out in a bit. The race start is about to come. The red lights are on, and here we go. The 10 versus 10 challenge is on the way. Everyone got a clean start. Granty Boy still in front, but he is Chris Panda on P1. Chris Panda with the best start, getting the two guys in front of him. Then Granty Boy and Chatty Duck each lost one position, probably due to the fact that Panda has red tires mounted, giving him a better traction from the start. But everyone else seems to be in a clean race. Let's jump into midfield. Let's see what's going on there. Maybe on P8, here we see David Lawson, who has jumped up by 7. So what a jump start by the Englishman. Well done at this point, but is being under pressure here early by Leonard Cam. We have seen James Punt right now losing one spot to Monster. Seems like he committed a bit of a mistake, as he's already under duress. So the table is a bit confusing right now, so we will have to wait a lap until the table has updated itself. There you can see on the left hand side a lot of up and down, so this is some little self auto correction by the game. Just a few seconds, we will have to wait until it's cleared again. So here we go. In lap 2 we see Chris Panda in the lead, jumping ahead of Granty Boy and Chatty Duck. So really good start by him. On P4 Monster, on P5 James Punt. Albert Dewitt defended his P6. Grizzle Sticks on P7, while we see the first penalty from Butters. Oh, and the first retirement. Trem is out. Trem, the first one, who DNF. That's sad for him, very sad for him. So the one and only place that is not granted a point is already defined, and it's going to be Trem. Where was I? P5 James Punt, P6 Albert Dewitt defending his P6. On P7 Grizzle Sticks jumped ahead by 4 places. That almost equals his penalty he had from the qualifying. P8 Lanarkamp, P9 David Lawson jumped ahead by 7, had to give away one of these places again, but still a good +6 for him right now. Liam on P10, B Wheeler on P11, Butters on 12, but already has a penalty. P13 Twisted Poncho, P14 Bid Mappy, P15 Darren Mark, 16 Josef Mararos, P17 Jean Knudsen, and the next one that is grey is Loaded Storm, next DNF, and a next penalty against Chris Panda. The leader has the first penalty, and we have a virtual safety car due to the crash of Loaded Storm. Drive-through penalty now coming in for Liam, speeding while virtual safety car. Chris Panda is in for his first stop, and he mounts, are these tires yellow or white? Let's have a look at the tires. He has mounted Harts, white tires. So early stop for the person who led the race during the first 3 laps. Oh, and Panda will have another penalty, speeding under virtual safety car. Oh, yeah, that's very sad. So Panda having himself a great start to the race, and just 3 laps afterwards, it's all ruined. Well, maybe not all. The race is still long. 29 laps still left to be raced, but definitely a bummer for him. And that puts Granty Boy into the lead. Let's jump to P1. Let's jump ahead. Here we go. Granty Boy, 1.8 seconds roundabout now in front of Chetty Duck. So this is the battle I was mentioning at the end of the qualifying. Those 2 drivers are probably on the same tire strategy, so we will have to wait and see whether those 2 guys can decide the race on the track. Monster in P3 is almost able to compete, and then we have already a big 6.5 seconds gap on P4, Albert Dewitt. So we have the first 3 that are almost able to run each other's pace. Monster, we have to admit, he's racing on softs, so that's backing up his times a bit. Chetty Duck now lost a few tenths during this lap, giving Granty Boy a gap of 2.2, soon to be 2.3 seconds maybe. Yep, let's jump to some action. We see a very close gap on P5, that's Lanarkamp. Here we go. Lanarkamp will be able to attack Albert Dewitt in front of him in the next DRS zone. The next penalty comes in against David Lawson. Multiple warnings are ignored. So this +3 we will see a lot probably. At least that's very often the case. when we race on strict corner cutting rules. And we have a pit stop from David Lawson. Let's jump to him very quick. Let's see if this is just a tire change. Would be a bit early on yellows. He needs a new nose. Something happened to him. Getting himself a new nose. Getting himself new yellow tires again. So, can say almost the same about him, like I said earlier about Chris Panda, having a good start and then very early, still in the first quarter of the race, this is very much spoiled. But well, a bit of cold tires maybe, that pushed him a bit on the grass. Yes, but the rules I mentioned already, the rules are that everyone is going to be granted points, every one of them who is still in the race, so he needs to stay alive, he needs to stay with us, because he might be the one getting those few points, or maybe just 1 point, that is going to decide the race for his team. Let's jump back to ongoing action. Let's jump to P6. Here we have Rizzle Sticks, who is within striking distance, at least talking about the DRS zone, even if he was a bit far on the outside on this turn. He is chasing Cam, and he has fallen out of the DRS zone. Let's jump ahead to Cam, as he is close, very close to Albert Dewitt. Came close to him, but not close enough to overtake. The fact that there's another one who is out, and we have a safety car. So everyone who's on red is going to pit stop probably right now. As I said it, here is Albert Dewitt, already came in, was the very first who was close to the pit lane, and he jumped in very, very fast. Good reaction by him. Let's see if his team is ready. Of course it is. Getting himself intermediate. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We had the information in the early get-go that there could be a rain shower midway through the race, but I have not seen drops yet. Whew, Albert. Are you really sure about that? Time will tell us. Anyway, it's very likely that the tires are heating right now, so we have probably 1 or 2 laps at least on the safety car, so in this time he might be able to go slow enough to not make them heat. But on the long run, on the long term, I'm really not sure if that was the right decision. Let's jump to him into the cockpit. Here we go. There are the first few drops. Okay. We did not see that on the broadcast channel. We see it here on its onboard. So, well, let's talk about it. The game, as we know, the game always has round about 2 safety car laps. So this and another one, and a lot of people are stopping now. And a lot of guys going on to Inters now, as we have the forecast of a rainy weather. Everyone is opting for that now. Everyone except Granty Boy and Monster. Those 2 guys still running on the slicks. And yes, what I was trying to mention, we all know the game. There's got to be probably one more safety car lap, as the field is not summed up behind Bernd Mailänder, and it usually takes a few laps until the Inters kick in and are really faster than the slicks. So right now I would say that the slicks are still the faster tire, but it's not about being fast right now. And let's see and find out if the Inters are the right tires then, when the safety car is coming back to the pits. So as we have been with Albert all the time, let's jump ahead to the leaders. We see in P3 Slydog, who is on Inters already, and Monster still on his used softs, already 9 laps old, so they are about to decrease, they are about to fall off, I would like to say, especially the front left. Front left is always very, very evilly, viciously used in right these turns where he is in Spain. And in front we have Granty Boy. Here we are. He is very aggressively warming up his tires, or keeping the temperature in his tire. So, but it was a mistake. Right now I would say it was a mistake for both of them not to come in, because everyone behind them is running on Inters now. We have only P6. Josef Morales has not stopped yet. He was able to jump through the field due to, and this who came back a good spot after his problems in the early get-go. Let's see about the safety cars. Lights are still blinking, so maybe the safety car is going to run one more lap. Maybe one more lap. Yeah, seems like should be out by now if Bernd Mailänder would come in. So one more lap behind safety car. Let's talk about the tires again. Josef Morales on P6, still on his starting tire, the yellow going. And there we have the pit stop. There we have the stop by Granty Boy. Now he has come in. Likewise to Monster. Now delayed getting them the Inters. We are still under safety car condition. So 5 seconds penalty for who was it? I think it was Panda. I think it was Chris Panda who got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Back to the topic before. The before race leaders have now gone into a delayed intermediate stop. Granty Boy now back to P8. Monster ahead on P7. The Monster overtook him in the pit stop, I think. And Chris Panda fell back to P13, so he seemed to have a slower stop, maybe a bit of release problem for him. So Granty Boy lost 7 positions now, back to P8, just because of the fact that he waited too long to stop for the green tires. Eventually he had to do it, but now he is stuck in traffic, and we'll have to see himself trying to get to the prime spot. And we just got the information that the safety car is going to come back at the end of this lap, so let's jump ahead. Let's maybe have a closer look at Leonard Cam, while we see Slydog dictating the tempo. dictating the pace here in the last sector. No overtaking until the start-finish line. Now he's picked up the pace. Likewise to the rain that has picked up too. So no big issues on the first few places. There are no attacks and no bigger problems for anyone. I think that's a bit of a topic to talk about it too. The different feeling you have now in the car. So for the first time, oh, there are some troubles behind. Let's jump there. There was some kind of action, some kind of collision somewhere. We have seen. Who was it? No, it was not Granty Boy. Granty Boy is still on his P7. There's some drivers running low, running slow. Sadly, I could not see who it was that probably collided, but we will see that with the next pit stops probably. David Lawson has now completely ruined his race as he has come back to the pits again. He's the only one who was not running on Inters and is still not, I think. Yep, anyway, let's get back to some action. Here we are with Granty Boy again. So he has already got one position back, while we see Wheeler taking the exit in the last chicane that got him a plus 30 seconds penalty. A lot of action going on here. Now no DRS, at least at the moment. Granty Boy attacking. Was well done against B. Wheeler. Oh, there's some action going on. That's David Lawson causing a yellow flag, and he is out. The next one that did not finish is David Lawson. He has won the award for the finest livery. Sadly, that did not grant him success in the race. Yep, and we have the next pit stops that come in from Twisted Poncho. Twisted Poncho, probably one of those drivers who had maybe an accident and now he needs some new nose or something like that. Yellow in sector 1. Oh, it's over now. And Granty Boy is trying to get P4 from Monster. Let's jump into his cockpit. Here we go. Now in the wet conditions we will probably not see a DRS zone on the two straights due to the rain. Monster is fast on the straight, so it seems like Monster has either is really whipping his engine to get every possible mile per hour out of his engine on long straight, or he does have a bit of limited downforce, what makes him go fast on the straights even if there is no DRS available. And the next DNF is Liam, while Slydog is the next guy acquiring a plus 3 seconds penalty. So we have a fight going on here now. Monster, Leonard Cam, and then Granty Boy. All those guys battling for P3. And this is now what I spoke about quite some time ago, as I was wondering if we would see some more team strategic driving in this race. What would mean in this case the probably faster Granty Boy jumping ahead of Monster, or Monster letting him jump ahead, because of the fact that it's probably that Granty Boy might be back in a position to win the race, but Monster does not. So we see a battle going on here. What is not a bad thing, I would say. So battling is never bad. And the rain seems to be really heavy now, so I don't know if it's just the spray picked it from the game or if it's really a lot of water on the track, but we are maybe into a position where we could think about full wets, but the weather forecast said that it's going to be dry towards the end of the race, so I think no one will risk it now for a additional pit stop. Ooh, it's so Cam is really fighting ahead. We see him every second, so he seems to be troubled in these conditions, while always on the long straight. Granty Boy is not in a position to attack his teammate. He's always too far ahead. Monster having the better acceleration in the last turn. And ooh, there was another slide from Leonard. It's getting closer from Monster and Leonard ahead. No possibility yet to attack. Oh, and now, Slydog is really close now. Granty Boy, I'm sorry. No chance for attack thus far. But I think he does not take the ultimate risk here. What does Monster do? Monster with the attack against Leonard, and he's through. And Granty Boy pushes ahead against both of them. Oof, what a maneuver. What a maneuver by Granty Boy, pushing ahead of Monster and Leonard Cam while they two were battling. And it seems like there has been no touch from any car, so congratulations in first place to Granty Boy, of course, but likewise to Monster and Leonard Cam for racing fair in this league. So while Granty Boy will now be chasing Albert Dewitt to get back his lead eventually, we are going to jump somewhere else where action is going on. We have maybe a B-wheeler very close to Butters in his Union Jack livery, and he's next to him, attacking him. No, aborts it against the teammate. Waiting for the next chance. Oh, while he's getting CEO into the action. Tried to attack, but did not push it through. And this is going to develop maybe into a foursome battle here. We have ahead Butters, then B-Wheeler, CEO and Rizzle Sticks on P10. All those, ooh, that was maybe a bit of a mistake, next to each other. Not a place where you want to go side by side into the turn. And CEO keeps at it, does not back off. He's maybe a bit too far on the inside, losing him a bit of traction. We always have some flags going on, but probably not a big issue. Talking about issues, we have black and white battle for P7 and a yellow battle for P9 going on here. It's very hard to say who's going to have the better end of those four guys in here. While, oh, there's maybe some attack, maybe. Hard fighting going on here, hard fighting. Let's jump back into the cockpit of Steel. There's always someone trying to go on the racing line, but a lot of slipping here by Steel and Wheeler. Steve attacking him and is passed. He is passed, and Wheeler loses another spot to Stick. So what a costly mistake. It wasn't even a mistake, he just slipped a bit in one of these slow turns, and that cost him 2 places. And ahead with Butters, he has a bit of space right now due to the action going on behind him. There still is some action. Let's jump behind. Here we have B. Wheeler, who just lost these 2 places at once. And maybe is going to fight back against Sticks. The good thing, I just wanted to say, the good thing about this foursome group is the fact that the slowest is running ahead. So he's holding up the other boys, and that will give us maybe just the next fights in just a bit. Oh, and speaking about a fight, Butters has lost a spot against Steve, who's back in P7. Everyone is fighting in these turns a lot, probably because the intermediate tires are going to lose some grip by the time now, and because of the fact probably that the drivers did not set up the car to a rainy track. Probably they set it up for dry conditions, as we were running dry in qualifying and started the race in dry. So everyone is going to just fight through the rain on a dry setup, probably. We have B. Wheeler, who has gone to the pits. Let's see what he's going to do. Intermediate's off, and he is running on fresh inters now, so he is not gambling to have some slicks mounted on his car again, because the rain has not stopped, and it's probably still too early to think about slicks. But the end of the race is meant to be in dry conditions, so we could see some very late slick action again. Probably everyone will run on soft tires then, if the drag should dry out. Yep, and while we were watching the midfield action, Grandy Boy has sneaked up to Slydog. Slydog, who is in some traffic right now by Marados, but the game ghosts him out, so not a real issue for him. Bit of sliding by Grandy Boy. His inters are 9 laps old. Slydog 11 laps on his tires. So this is going to be a fight for P1 soon. Half a second roundabout the gap behind. There is still no DRS due to the rain, so this probably will be a fight on the track. Slydog just slipped a bit on the last turn, so Granny Boy is at him now. Granny Boy is in his slipstream, getting the most out of it, out of his engine here, but Slydog seems to be able to slightly slip away. So top speed without DRS seems to be not the big strength of Granny Boy in this race, at least right now. Still some spray around the tires, but the track has definitely become drier. I don't think that there is rain left coming down, so as we all know the game, we should consider changing back to slicks within, I would guess, 3 or 4 laps maybe from now. So all those who are in the midfield, who can easily take some risk, that could be, aha, speaking about it, James Punt has changed for slicks. James Punt has gone for sub tires, and I will have one eye on his times and see if they are competitive or not. Here he is, right in front of us. He's going to be lapped. Oh, and lost his car. So maybe that has not been his best decision to jump onto slicks right now already. Don't throw the car away, Granny Boy. Don't throw your car away. You are racing for the win, but only if you can keep your nose in one shape. So the next drivers have changed for slicks. So forget about what I said in 3 or 4 laps. It's right now. Me crossover to dry tires. Albert do it on mediums, then Leonard Camp on mediums, Theo soft. While Granny Boy is not able to attack, but Slydog made a little mistake on the brake, and Granny Boy almost slipped through. Let's see who of those two will come in for slicks now. Probably both will do it. Yep, both go into the pits. Let's see which team is going to work faster, Team Black and White or Team Yellow Green. Let's have the review vision. Oh, the closest possible. Granny Boy still behind Slydog, and both are running on mediums now. So the race is going to be decided between these two guys, but there is one big but. You can see it on the table. Slydog carries a plus 3 seconds penalty with him, so this might be the decision maker in this race. Granny Boy, in theory, would just have to stay behind him, stay within 3 seconds, and will be granted the race win if he's not committing a mistake too, of course. But that's not the way we here want this race to be decided, so I do not think that Granny Boy will just stay behind him. I think that he's going for it to some time later. And now we have DRS activated, so from now on in the 2 DRS zones, Granny Boy will be able to, here we see it, split the rear wing. That gives him approximately 20 kilometers per hour more on the straight, and we see another penalty has come in for Slydog. Slydog is now plus 6 seconds, so sadly the penalty is piling up and will probably be the deciding part for this race. Right now we can easily stay with Granty Boy as there is no one else speaking in the DRS window. James Punt's the only guy who's in the DRS window of his opponent, and now past Sean Knudsen. Punt now on P12. So we will stay right here, right in this cockpit, with Granty Boy following Slydog for the race lead. Granty Boy has now posted the newest fast lap of the race, and there's the attack on the inside. Whoa, very hard fighting. Well defended by the duck, but this is not over yet. We always see Slydog having a bit of a locked left front in the right this turn. For this turn it's not a problem, but it might turn into a problem because the front left is the tire that is used the most. Oh, and there is the first penalty against Granty Boy. Have a look at that. Granty Boy having the icon of a penalty next to his name now too. But as far as I know, Slydog Boy has 2 penalties against him. Ooh, and a bit of a slide here, Granty Boy is very close now in the last turn. Opening up DRS here, pushing every little energy out of his engine. Not enough yet. Not enough yet. But he still has 6 laps plus the rest of this for the one deciding maneuver. We see both drivers a bit struggling here. Both are really giving it all, so they are on the limit. Both drivers totally on the limit. Great race. Great battle between 2 great drivers who did not commit many penalties, many mistakes, I would like to say. They both have a bit of penalties, yep, sadly. But speaking about race quality, those 2 guys are really classy. And it's really cool to see them battling it out towards the end. So, next try, Granty Boy. DRS zone, wing is probably open up. It is. But this time Slydog had the better acceleration out of the last turn. And we have seen Granty Boy already struggling earlier with top speed. So he probably has a bit more downforce mounted on his wings. During the rain we have seen him struggle to compete with other drivers on the long straight. During the rain there is no DRS, of course. So now with DRS he even struggles again. So top speed obviously is not the big deal for Granty Boy in this race. DRS zone 2. He's able to close up, but not able to come near enough to attack. So let's wait for the next DRS zone and then maybe jump to some other place where some fight is going on. Yeah, Granty Boy seems to be too far away here to attack again. 6/10 the gap ahead. He's going to close up, but not enough. Let's have a quick jump back to Stevio, who's running on soft tires. He's gambling a bit. We will see if he's able to come up with a race. Not only to come up with a race, but to have some competitive times until the checkered flag. He should have DRS. There it is against Slydog. He is able to close up until 2.5 tenths, but not able to attack him. Ooh, and there has been someone in the wrong way, but has obviously not been one of the important drivers, as there has no one lost the spot. So we can easily ignore that. Sadly, I couldn't read it fast enough to see who it was. Let's focus now on his fight against Slydog, and one eye I always have on the gap from Granty Boy to Slydog. DRS zone, just a short one to come close. No attack. No attack from him. Ooh, that was close. That was really, really close. Maybe some slight little touch, but I did not see any debris coming off his front wing. Ooh, very, very dangerous. Don't throw the car away that late in the race. Still in the DRS zone. Leonard Cam going on the grass a bit. That costed him some pace. Still not enough for Stevio to attack. Now maybe on the outside line. Leonard going inside. And the next turn he got him. He got him on the far lane outside. Great maneuver by Stevio. Backed up a bit, of course, due to some little troubles of Leonard Cam, and of course the fact that Stevio has better grip on his red tires. So well done from him. This has been, by the way, a team internal fight. So yellow against yellow. Once more, I mentioned this from what I said earlier already, that there is obviously no team strategy. There is drivers against drivers. Let's jump back to Slydog, who obviously committed a mistake. So he was always around about half a second behind. Oh, no, there was no mistake. Now I realize. I'm sorry. It took me a bit long to realize it, but it's Slydog who was in P2. Slydog in P2, sadly, while we were watching Stevio's overtake. Granty Boy finally got him. Wow, I was always having an eye on him, and I always was watching his gap being around 0.4, 0.5 seconds, and then the one final maneuver, sadly not depicted due to the fact that there is no replay on live events. Yep. And so the race probably is decided. Granty Boy does have a penalty and is pulling away hard now, almost 3 seconds. There it is, 3 seconds now away from Slydog. But Slydog has more penalties in his backpack, so this should be the final for the race victory. Let's have a look at Stevio. Oh, the wrong direction. There he is, who has been flying towards Albert. Albert is under duress here. Oh, don't ruin your front wing. Albert now on the racing line for the next turn, defending himself hard. And Stevio does it again on the outside in this Yeah, he did it. He did it again on the outside. Well done. Similar position, similar place where he did it than before. On the outside, really getting his red tires to work the best in this last stint from him. Some great driving by him. Really, really good. And Albert Dewitt is not able to follow him, so he might be in the DRS zone. Detection is here. He might be in the window, but that's not going to be enough for him to attack. And so we have entered the final lap of the race. And where he is? There he is, number 93, Granty Boy. In the intermediate sector, his last lap of a, let's say, really dominant performance on this 10 versus 10 challenge. Was in front in every qualifying, was not in front the whole race, so this has not been a start-finish victory, but he fought himself back on P1 the last turn, and there it is. Congratulations, Granty Boy, for Team Black and White for the victory. In P2, Chetty Duck. P3 still in the infield will be Monster. Big gap to P3. Now in his final turn, P3 secured for Team Black and White by Monster. P4 in yellow with a really hot last stint. Stihio, congratulations to you for overtaking multiple drivers right in the end. On P6, Leonard Cam. P7, here we have him, will be Chris Panda, who had a monstrous good start but ruined his race shortly afterwards. P8, Rizzles Sticks with a quite good performance after his grid penalty. P9, the last one to cross the checkered flag, is Butters, and there it is in the books. The race is over. Congratulations to Team Black and White, who probably will be the winning team. At least I can say that pre-penalty wise, so there is going to be a lot of back and forth afterwards due to seconds of penalties, but for the moment, congratulations to Granty Boy for your really good performance. Likewise to Chetty Duck and Monster, who sit on the podium. Congratulations. So here we have the race winner on his outlap, a second outlap due to the fact that the game grants us 1 more minute time remaining. Yes, it was a very cool race, I would like to say, from my view. A lot of action going on. What I would like to point out is the fact that the race has been very clean. So for watching virtual races and online F1 leagues, this has been a really competitive group of racers with a lot of respect for each other and some really good racing, not taking unnecessary risk, not pushing anyone off. And here we are. Here we see the winning motion, the winning hand, the winning finger. Driver of the day by the CPU is called Butters. And here we go to the podium. Congratulations again Grunty Boy. And here's the champagne. So, one more moment until we see the final classification with penalties. With the overview of penalties, we still see Grunty Boy in front, then Slydog, Monster, Albert Do It on P4, P5, Stehio, great last stint, Leonard Cam on P6, Bristle Sticks on P7, Chris Panda on P8, Butters on P9 coming from grid 18, wow. P10 B Wheeler, P11 Bit Mappy, 12 James Punt, 13 Sean Knudsen, and the rest is DNF. Thank you for watching this pre-season 10 versus 10 challenge. It was really fun to be here to watch these guys. Thank you for being with us. I hope this is not the last time for you guys out there watching the Slydog Racing League. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Keep racing.